XML file name. Okay, so now in this XML file creation we have to discuss now. Okay, so the first statement in this XML file, this is called as XML prologue. The first statement in this XML file is called as what? XML prologue. We call as XML prologue declaration. There is no any specific, it's an optional parameter to say frankly. So what is the version number? From day one onwards, there is no multiple versions in XML. Only one version is there, that is version 1.0. Okay, and the encoding standard is, there are different encoding standards are there, like UTF-8, UTF-16. There are different encoding standards are there. By default, the default encoding is what? UTF-8 is a default encoding, and XML version is 1.0 is the XML version. Okay, next, it's an optional parameter. If you want, you can keep this one, or if you want, you can remove this one, because it's a optional parameter. So next, there is a tag. There is a tag name called relative layout is a tag name. Next statement, there is a tag called what? Relative layout is a tag name. Okay. So we'll discuss about this relative layout tag. Before discussing that, what is relative layout tag? So below this relative layout, there is a statement XML ns colon Android is equals to, there is some URL is there. I mean, what is this URL? XML ns colon Android is equals to, there is some URL is there, right? What is it? What is this URL? This URL is nothing but XSD location. This URL is nothing but what? XSD location. I told you, right? Each and every XML file follows what? An XSD file. For example, you know, in the XML file already define an attribute already defined, that is layout underscore width, and I configured attribute called match parent. I configured the attribute. Once again, I'm trying to give the same attribute. I'm trying to give once again. This match parent, I mean this width is equals to match parent attribute. I configured once again. I configured this property I configured. See, it is giving error. It is giving. So once again, if you configure this attribute, it is giving an error. It is giving. See what is it? See what is the error? It is asked. It is showing an error. It is showing, boss, you already configured layout underscore width. You already configured. You cannot configure this width attribute. You cannot configure for multiple times. You cannot configure this width attribute. It is telling. Okay. And who defined this rule? Who defined this rule? I mean, multiple times you cannot configure this width attribute. Who defined this rule? This rule is defined in the XSD file. This rule is defined in the XSD file. This is the XSD location. This is the XSD location. Meaning in this URL, you can find XSD. You can find in this XSD file the rules are defined about this all these attributes. And what is this width? And what is this height? The rules are defined in this XSD. The rules are defined. Next, what about this XML ns and colon Android is equals to? What is this XML ns colon Android? This XML ns colon Android means XML ns is termed as XML namespace. XML ns is termed as what? XML namespace. And this URL is nothing but, there is some URL is there, right? This URL is nothing but what? XSD location. This XML ns is termed as XML namespace. This Android is a shortcut name. Android is what? Android is a shortcut name for this XSD location. Because it's very difficult for us. It's very difficult for us to remember this entire URL. For each and every attribute, we have to specify this entire URL. We have to specify layout underscore height, padding bottom, padding. So for each and every attribute, we have to specify this entire URL. We have to specify for each and every attribute. For each and every attribute, we have to specify what? The entire URL we have to specify for each and every attribute. Okay. So it's difficult to remember the URL. It's difficult to remember the URL every time. It's difficult to remember this URL every time. That's why yes, we are giving a shortcut name for this XSD. We are giving a shortcut name for this XSD. What is the shortcut name we specified? Android is a name we define. So wherever you have a requirement of accessing the attribute in this XSD, simply use Android colon that particular variable, I mean attribute. Okay, rather than it's Android is a shortcut name for this XSD. So wherever you have a requirement of giving that XSD location, simply will specify this Android will specify. Okay, for example, this context is available in a separate XSD, it is declared. So that's why XML ns colon tools is that XSD name. So whenever you want to access this XSD file, XSD defined attributes, if you want to use before that particular attribute, specify this tools. Okay, basically this XSD, I mean, the rules are defined in this XSD. What are the rules this XML file has to follow? That rules are defined in this XSD. Okay, and we give a shortcut name for this XSD, that is Android is a shortcut name. Okay, by using XML unless we define a shortcut name for that XSD. It's not mandatory to have an Android. It's not mandatory. It's not mandatory to have Android. If you want, you can define your name also. You can define. For example, I specified Mahi, I specified. So each and every attribute, before starting each and every attribute, in place of this Android, you had to define your attribute name. You had to define before each and every attribute. You had to define what your own attribute. You had to define whatever the attribute is specified. We had to define that attribute. We had to define. Okay, but maximum what we'll do is we use Android only. We use maximum. We use what Android. We use max. We use what Android. We use. Okay, next. Okay, we understand this XSD declaration and XML declaration. Understand. What is the first one? Relative layout. This relative layout is nothing but it's one of the UI group. Relative layout is what? Relative layout is one of the UI group. Relative layout is one of the UI group. One of the UI group. Okay. So there are different types of UI groups are there. Basically, UI group is used to specify how to arrange the UI components. UI group is used to specify how to arrange. UI group is used to specify how to arrange the UI components. How to arrange the UI? How to arrange the UI components. UI group is used to specify what? How to arrange the UI components. Like you want to present the data in a linear format, you want to present the data in a table format. In which format you want to arrange, you have to specify here. UI group is used to specify how to arrange the UI components. Okay, there are different UI groups are there. One UI group is linear layout is one UI group. Linear layout next, table layout, linear layout, table layout, frame layout next, linear layout, table layout, relative layout, frame layout, okay, grid layout. Like there are different UI groups are there. Different UI groups are there. Maximum in our development will get a requirement of using this linear layout, table layout, and relative layout properties we use. Okay. So basically, this UI group is used to specify how to arrange the UI components. How to arrange the UI components. These are the different UI groups. Okay. So let's see what is the syntax of linear layout. Let's see what is the syntax of what? Syntax of linear layout. Let's see what is the syntax of what? Linear layout. So linear layout means okay, these are the different UI groups. UI group is used to specify what? How to arrange the UI components. Okay, what is the first one? Linear layout. I'll show you. What will show you what is these three layouts: linear layout, table layout, and relative layout. Basically, our requirement is we want to develop an application. We want to develop. This is our application requirement. I want to show a message. I want to show on the screen called "Welcome to Durgasa." This is a requirement. This is my final requirement. I want to display this message. I want to display on the screen. Okay. Okay. So now here, difference between this linear layout and table layout and relative layout is, for example, you want to create one login page. You want to create what? One login page. You want to create. If by using this linear layout, we can arrange the UI components one after another. Meaning, we can create the UI in this format. You can create by using linear layout. For example, enter username, enter username, and we'll create one text box. We'll create here. Enter username. Next, enter username, enter password, enter username, enter password, and we'll create one more text box. We'll create enter username, enter password, and we'll create two buttons. We'll create here. One is a login button, and one more button is register button. So by using this linear layout, we can arrange the UI components one after another. You can create the UI components. By using this linear layout, we can arrange the UI components what? One after another, we can arrange the UI components. By using this linear layout, we can arrange the UI in this format. You can arrange the UI, meaning one after another. You can arrange the UI component either in a vertical format or in a horizontal format, one after another. For example, your requirement is you want to create one close button directly at the end of the screen. Here, I want to create a button component. I want to create here. So here it will not accept this linear layout. It will not accept to create a button component here. Boss, if you want to place a UI component, if you want to place here, first of all you have to fill this entire gap. You have to fill because here there is a lot of space is there, right? Gap is there. Without filling this gap, you cannot place a component directly at the end of the screen. Without filling this gap, directly you cannot place the component at the end of the screen. You cannot place. So linear layout means nothing but either in a vertical format or in a horizontal format, one after another. You cannot place the components wherever you want on the screen. If you want to place a component here, first fill this gap, then only you can place a component here. Okay, that is a linear layout. Meaning by using linear layout, we can present the UI in this format. You can present. Next, what is the next one? Table layout. Meaning in a table format, you can present. Like for example, username, password, username, password. And I want to create two buttons. I want to create login and register. So if by using table layout, we can present this type of user interface. You can present by using the table layout. Login. Another thing is what? Register. Login and register. Login and register. Now if you see here, it's looking in a table format, right? Now it's a table format. How many rows are there? Three rows are there, two columns are there. If you want to present the data in a table format, if you want to present the data, if you want to present the data in a table format, if you want to present the data, then we use table layout we use. If you want to present the data in a table format, if you want to present, then we use this table layout we use. Table layout. So by using linear layout, we can present the data in a linear format. We can present. By using table layout, we can present the data in a table format. We can present by using this table layout. And what is the last one? Last one is relative layout. Last thing is what? Relative layout. For this relative layout, there is no any specific rules for this relative layout. There is no any specific rules for this relative layout. Directly you can place the components wherever you want on the screen by using this relative layout. You can place the components wherever you want on the screen by using what? Relative layout. There is no any specific rules for this one. You can place the components directly. You can place the components wherever you want on the screen. For example, you can declare like this: username in the first text box, next password. Like there is no any specific rules for this one. Directly you can place the components. For example, here I want to place For example, here I want to specify login button. I want to specify here. Just give me a second. Username, password. So login, and directly I want to place a UI component directly at the end of the screen. New user, sign up. So this message I want to show directly at the end of the screen. I want to show this one. So without filling this entire gap, is it possible to place a UI component directly at the end of the screen? In case of linear layout and table layout is not possible. Without filling this gap, you cannot place a component. You cannot place directly directly in the bottom of the screen. But here in case of relative layout, there is no any specific rules for relative layout. You can place a component directly wherever you want on the screen. Relative layout philosophy is what like what you want to present and where you want to present. That's it. What you want to present and where you want to present. That is relative layout. So you can place a component and anywhere you can place a component. You can place a component anywhere with. Okay, there isn't any specific rules for this relative layout. You can place the components wherever you want on the screen. That is relative layout. Okay, maximum 99% in our industry for developing the applications. Maximum we try to use linear layout. Linear layout only we try to use. Maximum 99% of the places we prefer to use what linear layout we prefer to use for developing the applications. Later you'll understand why I'm telling this statement. Why you use maximum linear layout for developing the applications. Okay. So open the XML file here. Okay. So here relative layout is what? Relative layout is one of the UI group. Relative layout is what? It's one of the UI group. Okay. So first we'll discuss what is the first UI group. Linear layout is the first UI group. Let's see what exactly linear layout. Linear layout is one of the UI group. One of the UI group. By using linear layout, we can arrange the UI components. By using linear layout, we can arrange. By using linear layout, we can arrange the UI components. We can arrange the UI components in a vertical or horizontal format. In a vertical or horizontal format, one after another. In a vertical or horizontal format and one after another. I mean, directly you cannot place the components wherever you want on the screen. Directly, give me a second. So by using this linear layout, directly you cannot place the components wherever you want on the screen. Okay, it's one after another. Okay, the syntax for this linear layout is, if you want to create a linear layout, the syntax for creating this linear layout is, linear layout is a main root tag. Linear layout is what? The main root tag. Inside this linear layout, the first statement, and if it is a main root tag, the first statement in this is nothing but XSD location. XML ns colon Android is equals to XML ns colon Android is equals to, there is a URL. What is that URL? XSD location is the URL. XSD location. So linear layout XML ns colon Android is equals to, so that is, we have to specify URL, we have to specify, that is the XSD location. XSD location. And for each and every UI group, so we have to specify the width and height, we have to specify Android colon layout underscore width is equals to match parent. For every UI component and UI group, we have to specify width and height, we have to specify. So what is this match parent? We'll discuss now. Okay. Next, Android colon layout underscore width and Android colon layout underscore height. These are the two mandatory attributes. Width and height, these are the two mandatory attributes for every UI component and every UI group. Like linear layout, table layout, relative layout, for every UI group will apply this. And for every UI component also, like buttons, for all these components also will apply this one. And for linear layout, additionally, We had to apply one more attribute. We had to apply for this main linear layout, that is orientation attribute. Will apply Android colon orientation is equals to vertical or horizontal. Okay, you have to specify the orientation. You have to specify either vertical or horizontal. Now inside this linear layout, we had to write the logic for creating the UI components. Inside this linear layout, we had to write the logic for creating what? The UI components. And finally, we had to close the linear layout. We had to close finally. Finally, we had to close what? A linear layout. We had to close finally. Finally, we had to close what? The linear layout. We had to close finally. Okay. This is one of the UI group. By using linear layout, we can arrange the UI components in a vertical or horizontal format. One after another, you can arrange. Okay. This is a syntax. Okay. So we understand that in linear layout, relative layout, and all these are one of the UI groups. Okay, so the first UI group, in place of this relative layout, I'm using a UI group called linear layout. I'm using. By using this linear layout, we can arrange the UI components one after another, either in a vertical format or in a horizontal format. The first statement we require is the XML. I mean, XSD location is required. First statement we require the XSD location we required. The first statement. Okay. And we don't require this tools attribute. If you want, you can remove this tools attribute. You can remove. It's not required. Only this XSD location. First XSD location is sufficient. So remove that XML tools attribute, and remaining all these attributes I'm removing except these two parameters. And closing of a tag is mandatory. Here, this is mandatory, and so these two are also mandatory. Width and height is also mandatory. What we specified here: width and height, match parent and match parent. Additionally, for linear layout, we had to create one more property. We had to specify for linear layout, that is the orientation property. Orientation. You want to present the data in a vertical format. You want to present the data, or you want to present the data in a horizontal format. You want to present the data. You have to specify that one in this orientation. For example, I want to present the data in a vertical format. I want to present Android colon orientation is equals to what? Vertical I specified. So I want to present the data in a vertical format. I want to present the data. That's it. Android colon orientation is equals to what? Vertical. And inside this linear layout, we don't require this text view component. We don't require. If you want, you can remove this attribute. You can remove. Inside this linear layout, first I removed the text view component. I removed. Meaning now what we created? We created the main UI group. We created as a linear layout. We created the main UI group as what? A linear layout we created. I mean, we want to arrange the UI components in one after another. We want to arrange the UI components. Okay. Now in this XML file, I hope you understand what is this XSD location. What is this XSD location? The rules are defined in this XSD, and Android is a shortcut name for this XSD location. So wherever you have a requirement of giving that XSD URL, simply specify what Android will specify. Okay. Next, after that, we specified width and height attributes. We specified match parent and match parent. What is this match parent? Only this statement you have to understand. Now, remaining all the parameters you can understand. This match parent is meaning these are the two mandatory attributes, right? Width and height are two mandatory attributes. Okay. So right here, for every UI group and UI component, so we had for every UI group and UI component, we had to specify width and height. For every UI group and UI component, we had to specify width and height. Following are the possible parameters. To specify width and height. For every UI group and UI component, we had to specify the width and height. We had to specify. So following are the possible parameters to specify what? Width and height. Okay. So there are five possible parameters are there to specify the width and height. One is match parent is one attribute. Next fill parent, match parent, fill parent, wrap content, match parent, fill parent, wrap content. We had to specify in DP, I mean density pixel, that first pixel, then after density pixel we'll discuss. Pixel, next density pixel, and there is one more attribute called SP. This SP is different, okay? So we cannot apply for UI group and UI component, we cannot apply this one. This is different. Just remember there is SP, okay? So these are the following parameters to specify the width and height for every UI component and UI group. For every UI group and UI component, we have to specify the width and height. Following are the possible parameters to specify width and height. These are the five possible parameters to specify the width and height. Match parent, fill parent, wrap content, pixel, and DP. Okay. So what is meant by this match parent? Match parent means nothing but, see, if you are designing any UI components, if you are designing on the screen, you have to specify the width and height, you have to specify on the screen. Okay. So I hope you understand this UI groups, right? What exactly linear layout, table layout, and all. So I'm creating one more major component I'm creating. Okay. So this match parent means nothing but, if you are creating any screen, if you are creating, the first we are taking a UI group, we are taking either linear layout or table layout, we are taking a UI group, we are taking first. Now here in this for this UI group, we have to specify how much space you want to occupy on the screen. Do you want to occupy the entire screen in the width, or do you want to occupy the entire screen in the height? So that is nothing but match parent. Match parent means nothing but, if your requirement is occupying the entire screen width, let's make width as match parent. If you specify width as match parent, in the width it is going to occupy the entire screen, it is going to occupy in the width. If you specify height also as match parent, height it is going to occupy the entire screen, it is going to occupy in the height. That is match parent and match parent. Match parent, if we specify width as match parent, if we specify width is going to occupy the entire screen. Height, if we specify as match parent, height is going to occupy the entire screen, is going to occupy. Okay. Basically, this match parent means nothing but, which is used to occupy the entire screen. Which is used to occupy what? Entire screen. How much space is there for your entire device? That much space it will occupy. That is match parent. Okay. So if you want to occupy the entire device, then if you want to occupy, we'll specify that one with match parent attribute, we'll specify. Okay. Even the fill parent also same thing. This match parent attribute is introduced from Android 2.2 version onwards. This match parent attribute is introduced from Android 2.2 version onwards. This match parent attribute is introduced. So if your requirement is occupying the entire screen, for example, you are creating one button, you are creating this button width, you want to occupy the entire screen, you want to occupy. At that time, we'll specify as what? Match parent will specify. Even this button height also, if you want to occupy entire screen, then height also will specify as what? Match parent will specify. Okay. So here, this is the first attribute. Match parent is the first attribute. So this match parent is introduced from Android 2.2 version. This match parent is introduced. Okay. The next attribute is nothing but fill parent. The first one, match parent. And the next thing is nothing but what? Next thing is fill parent. Next thing is what? Fill parent. This fill parent is less than 2.2 version. If you want to use this property, I mean this occupying the entire screen, if you want to use this property, if you want to use in less than 2.2 versions, then we use this fill parent property we use. If you want to occupy the entire screen, if you want to occupy, and from about 2.2 versions, we use this match parent we use. And if you want to specify if any component you want to occupy the entire screen, so then we use what? Fill parent property we use in less than 2.2 versions. Okay. And next thing is wrap content. Next thing is what? Wrap content. Simple. For example, Wrap content means up to the content. Wrap content means what? Up to the content. Like for example, you are creating a button, you are creating called login button. You are creating button called what? Login. Login is a button you are creating. Now, wrap content means nothing but up to the content, meaning how much space is required for this component. It is going to occupy only that much of space only it will occupy. That is a wrap content. How much space is required for that component, only that much of space only will occupy if we specify as what? Wrap content. Okay. For example, login is a button. Next, register is another button. Register is another button. Register. So we'll specify as what? Wrap content. Wrap content means what? Up to the content it's going to occupy. How much content is required? So that much of space it's going to occupy. Next, there is another button called cancel button. Let's take I'm specifying as cancel I specified. Login, register, and next thing is what? Cancel I specified. Okay, this is the wrap content property. Wrap content means nothing but up to the content. How much space is required for that component? Only it is going to occupy that much of space only will occupy. That is a wrap content attribute. How much space is required for that component? It is going to occupy only up to that much of space only it will occupy. If we specify as what? Wrap content. If we specify as what? Wrap content. Okay, that is a wrap content attribute. If you want to specify, if you want to occupy only the space, if you want to occupy up to the content, then we'll specify a property called wrap content property we use. Okay, next thing is the pixel property. What is the next one? Pixel. Just we'll define that one with the px attribute. Pixel means nothing but, see, there are three buttons we created: login, register, and cancel. Right? We created three buttons. We created login, register, and cancel. But if you see, the sizes of these UI components are different. Sizes of these UI components are different. This login and cancel is looking in one size. Register is looking very big, right? Okay. So my requirement is, I don't want to create these three buttons. I don't want to create with the same sizes. I don't want to create these three buttons. I don't want to create with the same sizes. I don't want to create these three buttons. Okay. I mean, there are different sizes out there, right? Login is different, is register and cancel. These are the different sizes. My requirement is, I want to create these three buttons. I want to create with what? The same sizes I want to create, because here it's not looking good. For example, in future, I got a requirement of creating one more button called OK button. OK button I want to create. For OK button, if you specify as wrap content, and wrap content, if you specify, what is the problem here? If you specify as wrap content, it is going to occupy only up to that much of content only it's going to occupy. Is it looking good? No, the buttons are looking with different sizes, one button with different sizes and all. That's why, if you want to create all the buttons with the same sizes, for example, in this scenario, if you want to create some UI components with all the three components you want to create with the same sizes, then we use a property called what? Pixel property we'll specify. For example, for these components, in our last example, like you want to create four buttons, you want to create what? Four buttons you want to create. So for all the attributes, whatever it may be the actual content, inside it, whatever it may be the actual content, we'll apply the fixed property will apply. That is, pixel property will apply. Login, register, whatever it may be the actual content size. If you specify as wrap content, if you specify the sizes are we got in a different sizes we got in a different sizes, we got the UI component, right? We got the UI component, we got in different sizes, we got the UI component. If you want to create all the UI components, if you want to create it the same sizes, if you want to create all the UI components, if you want to create it the same sizes, we'll apply a pixel property, we'll apply. For example, here, I'll apply the pixel property, 100 pixel for this one, 100 pixel for this. For all the UI groups, so I'll specify this pixel property, I'll specify what? This pixel property I'll specify for all the attributes. Okay, applied a pixel property I applied. Applied a what? Pixel property I applied. Okay, advantage of applying this pixel property is nothing but you'll get all the components you'll get with the same sizes. But if you specify as wrap content, if you specify, some components you got with big size, some components you got small sizes and all. Okay, that is a pixel property. If you have a requirement of applying the same sizes for all the UI components, let's make it apply the pixel property. Okay, and the last thing is nothing but DP. And what is the last one is what? Last one is density pixel. Last thing is what? Density pixel. We call as DP, density pixel. Meaning density pixel means nothing but there is a problem with the pixel attribute. Problem is nothing but, for example, you design the user interface, you design for 320 by 480 resolution, meaning 320 is the screen width, 320 is the width of the screen, and 480 is the height. 320 is the width, and what? 480 is the height of the UI component. 320 by 480 is the screen width. 320 is the width and 480 is the screen height. 320 is the width and 480 is what? 480 is the height of that UI component. In this resolution, this UI is looking good. In this resolution, this UI is what? This UI is looking good in 320 by 480 resolution. The same user interface, if you move into a large resolution, the same user interface, if you move into a large resolution, the same user interface, if you move into a large resolution, for example, this screen resolution is 1024 by 768 resolution. This is a screen resolution. What is the screen resolution? 1024 is the screen width. What is the screen resolution? 1024 is the screen width and 768 is the screen height. 1024 by 768 is the screen width and screen height. Meaning 1024 pixels is a screen width and 768 pixels is a screen height. If you move this same resolution, if you move into a large resolution, meaning this user interface, in this user interface, it's looking good because we specified 100 pixel property we specified here. But the same user interface, if you move into a large resolution, if you move the same user interface, the UI will not be look good. I mean, these components will not create this much of size. Basically, what will happen, the UI components is going to become very small. The UI components is going to become what? Very small. The UI components is going to become. Reason is nothing but we applied we applied a property called what? Pixel property we applied. For example, pixel means nothing but that is fixed. Whatever it may be the actual screen size, whatever it may be the actual screen size, in all the screens it is going to be display with the same size is going to display. For example, login, register, in all the screens it's going to display what? With the same size it is going to display all the UI components. Login, register and all. And all the screens it will display with what? The same UI it will display all the components. Here, okay, we applied a property called what? Pixel property we applied. This is 320 is a screen width. 320 pixel is what? 320 pixel is a screen width here. In this resolution it is looking good. In this 320 and 480 by resolution, this UI is looking good. But the same UI, if you move into 1024 by 768 resolution, the UI is not looking good. If you move the same UI, if you move into 1024 by 768, the UI is not looking good because we applied a property called pixel property. Pixel means nothing but that is fixed in all the resolutions. That is fixed in all the resolutions. Whatever it will be the actual resolution, it will display the UI component will display with 100 pixel only. Okay, that is the disadvantage of pixel attribute. So in place of pixel, use the attribute called what? DP property. Android is preferred to use DP, I mean density pixel property. Android is preferred to use this DP property for specifying the some particular sizes. Advantage of applying this DP property is nothing but Advantage of applying this DP property is nothing but you don't need to worry about the resolution. You don't need to worry about the screen resolution. Whatever it may be the actual screen resolution, whatever it may be the actual screen resolution, you don't need to worry about the resolution part because here we created a button component with 100 pixels, right? In place of pixel, if you apply a DP property, if you apply based on the screen size, automatically it is going to increase the size of the UI components if we apply a property called what? DP property. Okay. If you have a requirement of applying some specific sizes, Android is preferred to use a property called what? DP property. Android is preferred to use because advantage of applying this DP property is nothing but based on the screen resolution, automatically it is going to increase the size of the UI components. Okay, there is a DP property advantage. That's why Android is preferred to use DP than the pixel. Okay, that is the one thing. And next, another one is last one is a SP property. This SP property is not for the UI components. So if you apply the SP property is for applying the text sizes. SP property is for applying what? Text sizes. For example, I want to increase or decrease the text size of this login. This login text is there, right? I want to increase and decrease the text of this login button text size. Text size I want to increase or decrease. For this one, if you want to increase the size of this text, not the button size, the text size if you want to increase or decrease, then we use a property called what? SP property we use. This SP property is used for the if you want to increase or decrease the text size. Text size if you want to increase or decrease. So we use a property called what? SP property we use for increasing or decreasing the text size, not the size of the button. Not the size of the button. If you want to increase the size of the text, then we use a property called what? SP property we use. Then we use a property called what? SP property we use. Okay, these are the possible parameters to specify width and height for every UI component and UI group. Match parent, fill parent, wrap content, pixel, and density pixel. Okay. Okay. So now here, our requirement is what? We want to display a message. We want to display on the screen. Welcome to DurgaSoft. So here we specified a property called match parent and match parent. Meaning for the linear layout, I want to occupy the entire screen width and entire screen height. I want to occupy for this linear layout. Okay. Next, inside this linear layout, I want to display a text. I want to display to the user. If you want to display a text, if you want to display to the user, there is a UI component called text view is a UI component. There is a UI component called what? Text view. See here, once if you take the text view component, once if you select this text view component, once if you select, automatically we got these attributes we got. It's asking what is the width and height. Width I specified as match parent, but height I don't want to occupy the entire screen, I don't want to occupy in the height. Okay, so I specified as wrap content, I specified height occupy up to the content, width occupy the entire screen, width occupy what? The entire screen. We specified as match parent. Height I don't want to occupy the entire screen, I don't want to occupy the height. So that's why I applied a property called what? Wrap content. Wrap content means only up to the content. How much space is required in the height, it's going to occupy only that much of space it will occupy. Okay. And what is the text you want to display? Text is equals to I want to display a message, I want to display called what? Welcome to DurgaSoft is a message I want to display. Welcome to DurgaSoft. Welcome to DurgaSoft. Next. What is the text size? Let's specify text size property. Text size is equals to I specified 30 SP specified for text size. 30 SP is the text size I specified. 30 SP. I told you right, if you want to define the text size attribute, text view size, that will use a property called what? SP property we use. Okay. And if you want, you can apply the other attributes like text style is an attribute. Bold, in bold color I want to display. If you want to apply any color, if you want to apply, there is one more attribute called text color. It's all playing with the XML attributes. Okay, in the XML file. Like for example, I want to display with the red color I want to display. Okay. Now if you see the design, if you see here, it will show you how it will display on the screen. Select this design. So we design the user interface in XML. We design the user interface. If you want to see how it will display on the screen, select this design attribute. You'll get the, it will show you the preview. It will show you how it will display on the screen. In this format, it will show you an output on the screen. It will show you. Okay. Next. So XML part is completed. Now we done with the XML part. We done. We created the user interface. We created manually. We created the user interface. We created by creating an XML. We define the user interface. We define. Okay. Now XML part is done. Okay. Now we had to discuss the Java part. We had to discuss for each and every screen. For each and every screen, we had to create an XML. We had to create, and we had to create a Java. We had to create. Right now, the XML part is done. Let's discuss about the Java part. XML. Now we have to discuss what Java part. So Java is called as activity. So now we'll discuss what is the steps to create an activity. Steps to create an activity. Steps to create what? An activity. So if you want to create an activity, if you want to create an activity, the first step to create an activity is create a class with subtype of android.app.activity is the class name. This is the first step for creating an activity. If you want to create any activity, what is the first step? We had to create a class. We had to create with subtype of what? Android.app.activity is the class name. We'll understand this step. We'll discuss why we had to extend this activity class. We'll discuss about that step. We'll discuss. Okay. So now this is the first step for creating an activity. You know what we'll do is, okay, we'll close this XML file. Okay, XML part is done. Open the Java file. Select this Java code. And in Java, you can find two packages. You can find one is for testing purpose, and one more thing for development purpose. In this package, you can find a Java file. You can find called main activity is a Java file. Let's open the Java file, main activity Java file. Open the main activity dot Java file. What we'll do is initially we'll remove this entire logic. Now by default we got the Java code we got by default, but I want to explain the steps. I want to explain what are the steps to create an activity. That's why I removed that Java code. I removed. Okay, this is our first example, right? You have to understand each and every statement. You have to understand why you are writing. Okay. Okay. So I removed the entire Java code. I removed the first statement in this Java file is what is the first statement? We had to create one class. We had to create. It should be a public class. What is your activity class name? I want to create an activity called main activity is the class name. I want to create an activity called what? Main activity is the class name. This should be subtype of, this activity class should be subtype of extends android.app.activity. This is the first step for creating an activity class. This is the first step for creating an activity. Create a class with subtype of android.app.activity is the class name for creating an activity. This is the first step for creating an activity. Create a class with subtype of android.app.activity is the class name. Okay, it is the first step. Now here, on top of this activity declaration, we had to add one package declaration. We had to add. Let's add a package declaration. Package cubex.helloworld is the package name. Package cubex.helloworld is the package name. Okay. So this package declaration we had to add. This is the first statement. Add a package declaration in your Java class. Next, because we are creating this class under a package, so we had to add a package declaration. We had to add. Then after that, create a class extends android.app.activity class. Extends means what? We are using an inheritance concept. We are using here. We are using an inheritance concept. We are using, meaning we are getting some properties. We are invoking from the activity class. We are invoking some properties. We are invoking from the android.app.activity class. We'll see what are the properties that we are invoking. We'll see what are the properties that we are invoking from the activity class. Okay, this is the first step. Next, what is the second step? Second step is override the onCreate method. Override what? override on create method. This activity class contains a method called on create. Basically, this on create method is nothing but same like main method in C++ Java. Same like main method in C++ Java in Android activity. In Android activity, on create method will be invoked first. Same like main method. Same like main method in case of our C++ Java. In Android activity, on create method will be invoked first. On create method will be invoked first. So provide the implementation for on create method. So provide the implementation for what? Provide the implementation for on create method. Will provide the implementation will provide for what? On create method will provide the implementation. So provide the implementation for what? On create method. Same like main method in C++ Java, in Android on create method will be invoked first. So provide the implementation for on create method. That is the second step. Meaning we are extending one activity class we are extending. We'll discuss why we are extending this class. It contains a method called on create. Just if you are typing this on, automatically you will get the list of methods you will get. Automatically you will get what? The list of methods you will get. Here we have to select a method called what? On create is a method. This is the second step. Override the on create method. This is the second step. Even we'll discuss these parameters also we'll discuss. This is the second statement. Just if you click on that on create method, automatically will get the method implementation will get automatically. Okay. Now inside this on create method, next we'll see the third statement. We'll see. Third statement is nothing but we design the user interface in XML. We design the UI in XML. We had to set the XML file to the Java file. We had to set the XML file. We design the user interface in XML. We design the user interface. That XML design user interface, that XML user interface, we had to set to the Android activity. We had to set. That's what we're writing here. We designed the UI in XML. We had to set the XML file to Java. We designed the user interface. We designed in XML. We designed the user interface. We had to set that XML design user interface. We had to set to what? Android activity. We had to set. Okay. That is the third step. Use the following method. Use the following method to set XML user interface. To set XML user interface to what? Android activity. We designed the user interface in XML. We had to set the XML user interface. We had to set to the Java file. We had to set. Use the following method to set the XML user interface to Android activity. Basically, there is a method called set content view is a method. Set content view is a method. In this set content view method, we had to specify the XML file. We had to specify. We had to specify what? The XML file we had to specify here. So let's specify the XML file here. r.layout. Specify the XML file. What are the XML user interface you wants to set? What are the XML user interface you want to set to the Android activity? That XML file you had to specify in this set content view method. Okay. This is the third step. This is what? The third step you had to specify. So in our project, we design the user interface. We design in this XML file. We design the user interface. Now we had to set this XML file. We had to set to the Java file. There is a method called set content view is a method. In on create method, inside this on create method, there is a method called set content view is a method. In this set content view method, specify the XML file to the Java file here. r.layout. Because the file is available in the resource folder, we already discussed how to get the file from the resource folder. r.layout. Specify the XML file name. Activity underscore main is the XML file name. Set content view r.layout. Specify the XML file. Activity underscore main is the XML file name. Okay. Okay, this is our first application. One step we had to discuss, that is why we are extending this activity class. We'll discuss that one. Now my project is completed, boss. Now my application is completed. Now I want to test the application I want to test. So if you want to test the application, if you want to test, there are two options are there. The two options are nothing but first thing, for example, if you don't have an Android phone or if you have an Android phone. Simple. For example, if you have an Android phone, then how can you test the application? Simply enable USB debugging option in your phone. Enable what? Enable USB debugging option in your phone. If you have an Android phone, in your phone first, in your phone, you can find an option called USB debugging option you can find. Okay? And connect your phone via USB cable. This is the first step. In your phone, first what you will do? Enable the USB debugging option in your phone and connect your phone with a USB connection. This is the first step. I will do that one. Connecting my phone, I'm connecting. I'm connecting my phone with USB. Okay. And once if you select this run button here, once if you select this run button, see, it is showing the device, it's showing here, Samsung device. I connected my phone, I connected, so it's showing the device here. Just click on this OK button. Directly, the app will be installed in your phone. This is my phone preview. This is my phone actually. Okay. So it will take some time to load the app. Take some time to load the app. It's loading still. Yeah, loading is done. We got the output we got. Welcome to Durga Sound. Okay. So directly app is installed in my phone, app is installed. This is my phone preview. This is my phone preview. Directly app is installed in the phone, app is installed. Okay. Basically, this is a preferred format. Preferred format means nothing but maximum for testing the applications we use this mobile phone only we use because okay. So you can test all the device functionalities you can test in the phone itself. Okay. This is the first approach. If you have an Android phone, connect your phone with USB and directly you can start working with the application. Second thing, for example, if you don't have an Android phone, if you don't have an Android device, then Android Studio is providing a tool called AVD Manager is a tool. What is the tool name? AVD Manager. By using this AVD Manager, the AVD Manager name itself is describing Android. AVD is termed as Android Virtual Device. AVD is termed as what? AVD is termed as Android Virtual Device. You can create a dummy Android device. You can create by using this AVD Manager tool. We can create a dummy Android device. You can create by using this AVD Manager tool. Okay. Now let's see that how to create that virtual device. Here only you can find a tool called AVD Manager here. For example, I don't have an Android phone. Then how can I test the application? Simple boss. If you don't have an Android phone, you can find an option called AVD Manager here. Here you can find an option called what? AVD Manager. This is a tool name. AVD Manager is a tool. Just click on this AVD Manager. Click on that AVD Manager. One virtual device is already configured here. One virtual device is already configured. First, I'll remove this virtual device. I'll remove. Let's create a new virtual device. Create what? Create a new virtual device. Just give me a second, guys. Okay. So here, I want to create a virtual device. Let's create a virtual device. If you want to create a virtual device, there are different devices are there like Nexus, yes, Different screen resolutions: 480 by 800, 480 by 800, 760 by 1280, 480 by 854. Like there are different screen sizes out there. With what resolution you want to create a virtual device, you have to select the resolution, you have to select here. For example, I want to create a virtual device, I want to create with 480 by 800 size. Okay, so select the resolution and click on this next button. Okay, so in my phone, the Android 22 Lollipop version is available for this virtual device. So I'm taking this next. And if you want, you can define the virtual device name, you can specify. Otherwise, you can proceed with this. For example, I'm specifying the virtual device name as Android 6 AM is a virtual device name I specify. It's an optional. If you want, you can give. Otherwise, it will take the default value it will take. Just click on this finish button. So now by using that AVD manager tool, we created a virtual device we created. We created what? A virtual device we created. Okay. Now here, run the application. If you run the application, I removed my phone. I removed the USB connection. I removed my phone USB connection. Now my phone is not connected. Now, if you run the application, if you run, she is showing nothing to show. There is no available devices now. There is no connected devices. So, do you want to launch the emulator? I mean, the virtual device. Do you want to launch? Launch emulator. Click on this OK button. Okay, it's going to launch the emulator. It will take some time to launch this virtual device and all. Okay, this is the virtual device, but it will take some time. It will take some time to load the virtual device. Okay, once the device is loaded, still it is loading here. Once the device loading is done, then you can install the application in the virtual device. You can install and you can test. Okay, you can install the application in the virtual device. You can install and you can test the application. You can test. Okay, this is how to install the application in the virtual device and in the real device. It will take some time to load. Okay, so try to configure the AVD manager and try to test the application by using this AVD manager. Okay, but here it will take some time to load this one. That's all. Okay. So any queries in the today's class? XML declaration and Java declaration. So we started the programming part. We started. Okay, and this is our first example. Now one thing is still remaining, that why we had to extend this Android.app.activity class. So it will take approximately it will take another half an hour to 45 minutes discussion for this, why your class should be subtype of activity class. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss more about this Java file. Today briefly explain subtype of activity, override the onCreate method, and set the XML file to Java file using setContentView method. Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss more about this Java file creation. Okay, and the programming part is started now from today onwards. So each and every day, so theory part is completed. Now the theory part is completed. Now each and every day we'll discuss a concept, we'll discuss, and we'll develop a sample application for that concept we'll develop. Okay, so let me know if you have any queries in the today's session. Otherwise, let's see you tomorrow. Okay, if you have any queries, send me. Otherwise, just send me no. Okay, yes, Pradeep, just send me your mail ID. I'll send you today.
Mahesh, can you please send me the videos of for this session? Like, I mean,